Hi guys, my name is Ochukwu and welcome to another episode of the BP Talks. Today I have an interesting guest. With me on the show, her name is Amara Ifeanyi. She is the lead of partnership at Providus Unity Bank.
Hi, Achiko.
From a scale of 1 to 10, please, how excited are you to be it?
I'll say 8.
Fantastic. Okay. If you're actually shooting, tell me why the 2 is not there. Why the 2 is not there?
I'm still doing my numbers.
Okay. Now, we're going to have an amazing time here today. Now, that's because she's doing some interesting work. Now, look, her background is very rich, which is why we're going to be exploring some of the things that she has done in the past. But I typically like to ask all our guests on the show, what was your background in marketing like? Your entry point to marketing? Give us a story.
Okay, so mine was interesting. It's an interesting one. So I started my work life as the United Mortgage Bank.
Right.
An interesting thing is, in Nigeria, people will mix up sales and marketing. They'll call a salesperson a marketing person. But I found that, after all I studied in school, that there's a difference between sales and marketing. So I was a salesperson because I was actually meant to bring in deposits. So I'm not doing myself, why not find out the relationship between sales and marketing? Why would people mix them up and all of that? So coincidentally, I was discussing this with a friend, and he spoke to me about Pan-Atlantic University, that maybe they have a course that is related to that. So why not study, marketing? Why not go and learn more about marketing, not sales, not marketing in Pan-Atlantic University? And that was how I ventured into the marketing phase. So when I did my master's for 1 whole year in Pan-Atlantic University, and at the end of the day, I majored in marketing communication. Now, after the class, doing the sessions in the class, and I realized that it's actually marketing that needs to bring in the sales. So marketing is as important as sales is, so that is I would say that is the beginning of my story with marketing.
How would you define marketing?
I'll see marketing as that action that brings in sales. Marketing precedes sales, actually. Marketing is that call, that lock on the door, that when people open, what they bring in, what comes in is the sales. That's actually.
The reason why I asked you that question is because marketing means many things differently. When you're looking at core marketing and you're looking at communications, sometimes there seems to be a divide. If I was to ask you, what would be the similarities, or put it in a better way, how would you define marketing and communication?
So I always don't want to, separate the two. For you to do proper marketing, you have to communicate clearly and very well to your audience, really. So communication is a very key aspect of marketing. So sometimes when people try to delineate the two, I'll say just leave them together as marketing communication. While communication, of course, has to do with how well you communicate and all of that, marketing is the main act. So people argue that things like direct marketing does not really have so much to do with communication. But at the end of the day, what are you doing when you're doing marketing? You're communicating. Your marketing strategy is all around how well you communicate, how well you put your strategy well enough that you're communicating the right things to the right audience. So for me, keep the two together.
Okay, now I want to speak to something quite interesting here, and still a little bit, it's going to touch your background in marketing a bit, but I want to highlight something. You actually went to school for this at St. White's. What, or rather, where did you find yourself to push you to say, you know what, I think I'm into this? Where were you at? What drove you to school? And I'm saying this because most people don't get to that point except they're either at a crossroad or something threatens their complacency.
Okay, so I'm from an academic background. Education has always been a big part of me. As much as I'm working, I've always known that I'll do my master's, I'll go out to maybe do my PhD and all of that. a part of who I am, but I understand where you're coming from. I think when I was at United World, when I was those early years, when I was doing sales, I just wanted more. I wanted what other things that can put my brain to work, that make me see the strategies behind, okay, you need to mobilize this deposit. How do I mobilize it? What are the strategies I need to put in place? How do I communicate clearly to this audience to say, okay, it's not just, sir, please, I need you to bank with us. But it's more like, sir, okay, these are the values we are offering and all of that. Then I was young, I did not know much of it. Senior officers did much then to educate us and all of that, but there's something extra education does to you. I think that was what I craved. That what I started noticing, that gap, that there's just more I need to sell. There's no more I need to sell, more than just come and bring deposits. I need to be able to say, these are the values, this is this, and this is that. I need to put strategies, tactics behind it. And I think that is really part of what drove me and brought me out of my, like you said, my classes into who wants to say that.
How do you think you're irreplaceable?
Okay, so I think I'm irreplaceable. So my belief is that we are all different. We are made different. There's never going to be any Amarifa entrepreneur. Why? I don't know that there's someone that bears my name. Even if you bear my name, you may not be, that's struggling. You're not able to use your both hands. And even if you're able to use your both hands, you don't have the experience I have had. You've all worked across the industries I've worked. And what that makes me is a unique individual that is able to discuss banking with you, discuss tech with you, discuss digital marketing with you. So when I sit down on the table with you, I'm not just talking to you as a banker. I'm not just talking to you as in partnerships. Sometimes I have to pull from my experience of when I was at maybe Chucky or what you understand. So I think those are the things that make,
I'm asking you this question because you're in a very tough space. You're in a space where you almost have to know your own, in order to survive in that industry. And you don't know the owner by assumption. And you know.
Yeah.
And I'm asking this question because I think the majority of you watching you right now are saying that maybe possibly in the banking space or in the fintech space. You're saying, you know what, I don't want to mistake movement for progress. For you, what do you use to measure progress, particularly in your career?
Okay, so there are times that what people use to measure progress will not work for you anymore. There are times, for example, progress for you is that you've been promoted from one level to the next level. But the promotion you're looking for is not coming as maybe you're moving from grade 1 to grade 2. It means that you're called to do more work. So you're pulled out and you're asked to do, maybe be a lead, a team lead for this. You're not getting promoted, but you're bringing like this. So if you're looking at this, you feel that you're not growing. What is way you're growing? The experiences you gain from here can actually now make you jump grade 3, grade 4, grade 5 when the time is right. So for me, most times I don't look at that grading structure that people linear. I ask myself at the end of this, did I come out better? The experiences I gained from here, me in some years to come, will it make me a better person? Will it position me better, really? So I think that is how I see. So sometimes people's grading system, there are times I have to step down for a certain grades for me to be able to grow this way. But I found out that in stepping down, actually, I may just do pam and then I'm up there.
What do you do when you don't know what to do now?
I'm free.
No.
But I don't think people can have lots of conversation with me without hearing about praying, seeking God's face. There are times that it looks like you don't know where the right decision to make. So I think I've been around life long enough to know that there's the hand of God in everything. There are the things that, let's say for example, you get to job offers. Anyone you take, they can give you different experiences in life, and there are key points. So at that point, really, you have listed everything out. This one looks great. This one looks great. At that point, you don't know which one really, because your heart is in both of them. It has happened to me before, really. And I know that what I did at that point is that I prayed. I prayed so that I can see clearly what I was not seeing before, what my human emotions would have clouded. And seriously, when I come out, I have more clarity on, maybe I'm more excited about this one. I see that, oh, this one will actually take you, position you better, or this one will, may affect your balance, your life balance, and all of that. So when I'm like that, I'm quick.
Very interesting. And thank you for the honesty. Like I said, you're in a very, very interesting industry, and it's an industry that, I mean, you have key competitors in the industry.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be at the front line. Plus, if we're going to speak about brand loyalty, right? Particularly you, when you're heart of marketing, how does a brand win brand loyalty from consumers, customers, people that generally patronize them? How do you get to that point where you say your clients are loyal to you?
So I will use my current employer, really. There's this, my MD will always talk about customer experience, making sure that you give the customers the best experience.
Right.
I know earlier we were talking about all the previous effects and all of that. Well, that is it, really. First, for you to build that loyalty, you have to deliver value. There must just be something in it for your customer. And then that extra mile you have to go, as a business owner or as a brand, is when you take care of the customer that the customer becomes loyal to you, and the customer refers you to the next person, that the customer, choose even when you're pricier, they just think of the experience that they have with you. They've cultivated a relationship. Actually, it is a relationship that they're growing. Is that relationship that now makes sure that the customer is loyal?
But speaking about this, you made a statement, you talked about the experience. How do you create the experience? Because the competitors, they're also developing experiences for their customers. Almost, because you're the same line, almost all the other competitors are trying to give the same experience. What makes yours unique? How do you create?
I'm just trying to be so I'm not going to give you the one for it. But the experience is different. It's the personal relationship. If you talk with providers, you will see that there's a personal relationship you have with your relationship manager. So it's not just you walking into the bar to do your lower transaction, or there's that human thing that you're interfacing with a human being. You understand? So at the end of the day, if every other thing fails, human being will not fail. You understand? So
I want us to speak to SMEs, right? This is so interesting. And the question is, how important is word of mouth in building an SME? And can it replace structured market?
Okay, so I don't think there's anything of replacing. I always think of but so first, word of mouth is very important. As you upgrade as an SME, most times people that stand by from you first, people that patronize you first are your family, your friends, and depending on how, sometimes the people that are more difficult to please, actually your family and friends. Why? They don't see you finished. They say, don't do more than this now. But imagine when you've impressed them. Before they are speaking to other people in your church. They're the ones that will say, oh, I know one ready to wear somewhere. Can you understand? So that is very important for an SME. However, as you're growing, you now need to put structure in place. You now need to do data-driven marketing. How many people would order for this? Were they satisfied? What is their age range? For example, if I'm using a ready-to-wear brand, you're not going to make what you're going to make for someone that is 18, for another person that is 40. So you now say, okay, people that are buying from me, how old are they, and all of that. So your data, you now need your data to guide you. So that is where structured marketing comes in. So you can start with your word of mouth, the referral, and then you grow it into the structured market. You need a structure in place, really, that collates data, that advises you. It's something that is well thought through. That is not just
trust only. This is in regards to customer experience. We talked about that before, but let's reiterate that again. So what role does customer experience play in turning first-time buyers into loyal customers? Now, initially we talked about brand loyalty. We have cases where, most people don't become returning customers. Most people just interact with the brand for the first time, and then that's all. For any individual brand, whatever, is trying to scale up or build a global brand, marketing side of things, what role does customer experience play for first-time buyers and returning customers?
So I'll start with saying that brands should be careful of their touch points. Touch points is where your customers meet you first. Maybe the customer experience people, front desk or banking. It can be somebody that you're working and your CSO is there. It can be social media, depending on it can be maybe your app. For example, if it's app now and I call and use your app and it takes forever to open, to complete and all of that, I'm not going to come back. So whatever you have as your key touch points, those are the places you make sure that you have your best hands on. If it's your website that is your key touch point, your everything about you is app driven, then your app needs to be one, appeal to the audience you're already marketing to, you're already speaking to. You can't be doing 1950 website for a very tech-driven people. You understand? So when they come on your app, which is the first touch point, then it needs to speak to them. It needs to be interactive enough that they will be there. Do you have your gaming? What do you have that will interest them? Then if you're sending to Ultra HNIs, when they come to your branch, when they come to your offices, what ambience do you have? Have you stepped into a congestion, right?
Just that's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. So that is the experience. If you're visiting that branch for the first time, you say, "Oh, okay, this is what the brand is all about." It gives you that comfort to start having discussion. So I would say your key touch points are very important for customer experience. That gives people the experience that will make them to come back and take care of them.
It's really interesting. You mentioned something just before we started up the conversation, and how you were initially doing some business development. But I don't want to even speak to that in the video because partnership in itself has a huge iota of business development.
That's exactly
right. Now, if we should talk about business development, are you passionate about marketing? Or maybe I should ask you in different way. How passionate are you about business development? And how passionate are you about markets? Are they on the same spectrum? Or you have more love for one idea, even though they are intertwined? Because I know that's where you want to.
I want to say that when you have your children, when you have like 3-4 children, there is always that thing in this particular one that makes you love this one. And then you see the other aspect of this one, But for me, it's people. So where I have love is whatever brings value to people, whatever makes the two people come together and gain from that. You may say it's business development, but it's not just business. It's a lot of marketing. A lot of marketing because, you have to think of the strategy. It's not what appeals to this group of people that you're entering partnership with that will appeal to the other people. You have to look at their segments. So in as much as you're looking at it as business development, behind it is marketing strategy. And that's why I always will say I love that I have marketing strategy background as I'm doing partnership because in my head I'm also pulling out even those theories that I say I'm not a theory business, but I pull out some theories at some point and say, okay, how does this support this work, what I'm doing? The data I'm getting, what is it? It's not marketing. It is marketing.
I just stepped into business development.
And I stepped into business development. My first role, remember, it was a sales role. It's actually business development. And I think all through my career, they've always gone hand in hand. When I was at the BS, I was in business development as well as partnership. So I think they've always come to.
And the reason why I'm asking those questions is because most people do not see the importance of business development. So the idea is business development at its very core is very integral to the business as marketing is. However, there's a form of attention on marketing or some people than even business development. So if you were to speak to anybody right now, SME or any business, speak to the core and the heart of business development. Why should any brand take business development serious?
So business development, at the core of business development is not just bringing in new businesses. It's also maintaining the customers you have. See, it's easier to maintain the ones you have. They keep coming back, buying in and, so that is very important. And then bringing in the new businesses is very expanding your reach, expanding your portfolio, making more money at the end of it, really. So, that is why business enablement is very important. And your relationship with people. So, partnership has given me room to, meet people, really. So the way I give partnership is I get to know what is important to you as an organization, as a people, as maybe this is an individual. What is really important to you? What would the bank solve for you that will not make you bank with the bank happily? And once you find that you've solved the problem, you brought the people on board. And at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation because the bank is offering you what you need, and you're bringing your own value to the bank. So business development should really not be ignored. As much as I love marketing too.
Right. Okay. No problem. If you had one advice, or if you had to advise an SME that needs a very small marketing budget, what would you tell them to prioritize first?
Okay, so they prioritize experience. See, first, I won't say. So it's like this: when you grow your brand, what experience brings in your small budgets, marketing budget will retain for you. Both of them are important. I'm trying to say that spending on your marketing is as important as the experience you give your customers. Use the experience to bring them on board. Use the very personalized experience, very good experiences to bring them on board.
One of the statement just now that I think should be published to Harvard or should be studied there. What you experience, what the experience brings in is what your small marketing budget. So that's a powerful statement. No, thank you. Listening to it, I would think that was recited by one old Chinese monk. That was a powerful one, and I think you're right. So before I think when people say, "I don't have money for market," let's not you. So you gotta start from where you are. So
see. You can start from where you are. I'm not just speaking as, I've been on the side of business. I'm an entrepreneur. The first thing is starting an SME. Leave those ones that are dream big. Start selling. So start with the process. First, what are the free ones? Sometimes people look down on WhatsApp status, and that is very powerful. I remember those days. I know how many orders he got in. I know how many training seats he filled for me. So start with those small ones. Nobody's charging you for WhatsApp.
Quite interesting. I'm having an amazing time here. I just want to ask you one last question before you call it a wrap. This is really important. Ultimately, should SMEs choose customer loyalty for marketing, or should the two work together as part of one growth strategies?
So I don't know if this song was allowed on this show. I said la collabo. So it's meant to be in union of the two. When we were speaking earlier, we're talking about what brings in and what's in. When your first set of people that you get as SMEs, if they're just 5, and let's say you're selling fabrics, you sell wonderful, very good fabrics to them, unique fabrics. They'll make it and they'll wear. Somebody will ask, where did you buy it from? Oh, is this person that bought these fabrics for more? And the person is ordering again. That first person is loyal to you already. They want to do gifts. You put it out there. Oh, I can actually put this all together as gifts that you can give to your loved ones. You put that out there. You've gotten your first set of customers. Now, virtually, you will grow. And when you're growing, loyalty is beautiful. But now you need to move on to marketing budget, no matter how small it is. I always will tell people, I'm someone that don't want to say, oh, I'll put money first. I don't have money to do this. I always will say, have a plan. When the money comes, how will you spend the money? People will say, I don't have money. That's why I've not started my business. But you don't have a business plan. You don't know what you want to do. So as an SME, if you're still growing at that point that you're still speaking to people, word of mouth, just showing few people, have a plan that one day you're going to be big. So when that funds come, then you will know immediately how to plug in the funds so that you don't waste the funds. And I always will tell SMEs, and this is not related to the question, but I always tell SMEs there's a lot of funding out there. Now going back to your serious on LinkedIn, you see a lot of this. Some people say, people are not getting funds, but people are actually getting funds. The banks are assisting. There are many international funding for different situations. When you apply to 10, out of that 10, 1 or 2 you gain, but you need to first start. You need to start. You need to have a plan. Even if you don't have all the money, tell yourself that one day I'm going to get the money. So have that plan so that immediately the opportunity comes, you're already prepared for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one masterclass that I think you should watch over and over and again. Just one keynote that I take from this session is that when you're having a conversation with someone like Amar, just have the back of your mind that it's good to have a navy pink gown and a red glasses to go with it. Don't forget to match with it fantastic braids. What keywords to anybody who's watching, for your final keyword to anybody who's watching?
Okay, I just want to say that I hope this session, you've been able to get a couple of, especially just SMEs, don't feel that you're not going to get, you're going to get there. Just have a plan in place. Even if you have 1 or 2 customers now, have a plan in place. When the funds come, you will just move up, and then we'll hear your story in a couple of years. Thank you.
Also, by the time I already see you at another episode, Tamara, we'll be calling her Dr. Hong. See you in the next episode. Cheers.
Thank you.